Due to this strange time, everyone is spending a lot more time inside than usual. And because of this, everyone is looking for some form of entertainment. Through the advanced algorithm MSU, I've calculated what I do in a day and organized it in this neat little chart here. As you can see, I spend about 40% of my day sleeping, 20% of my day doing schoolwork, and 15% of my day working on videos. However, what we are really interested in is this 25% of the chart that is undecided. This slot is free time that I have on my hands to fill with whatever I want. And I don't know about you, but I personally have been reading a lot of manga. And if you have read manga for any amount of time, you probably know that finding a great manga is few and far between. So I've done that work for you. However, the casualties were great. For my research, I had to read anything that jumped out at me. I had to dig deeper than I ever have before, and all for your sake. To sum it up briefly, I will read a description of one of the manga I read. Introducing Kiss Me or I'll Die. Yuta Sato accidentally discovers that his childhood friend Rinko Unohara contracted a very rare illness called the kissing disease. The disease forces the person to kiss someone of the opposite sex at regular intervals or you'll die. Luckily, it only had 3 chapters, and I was able to make it out with 4 limbs still intact. Now that you understand the lengths that I went for you, let's begin the video. Some of the summaries will be longer than others, so if you want to skip around, timestamps for every manga will be in the description. But without further ado, I'm Tortoise with Watch Mojo, and today I'll be counting my top picks for the top 10 ongoing manga. At the number 1 spot, we got Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen follows an average high school kid, Yuji, his only standout characteristics being he excels at sports and is overall very strong. Yuji, not wanting to do anything special, joins the occult club. One night, the club members unseal a special grade cursed item called Sukuna's Finger. Upon unsealing the cursed item, demons begin to appear in pursuit of its power. Yuji, wanting to save his friends and being a bit of a well-intentioned moron, eats the finger to gain its power. This act reincarnates the terrible demon that is Sukuna. However, for some unknown reason, Yuji can control him to an extent. The Soul Society, the Jujutsu community, want to have him executed immediately. But he is saved by a powerful sorcerer with a proposal that instead of killing him now, they have him collect and eat all of Sukuna's fingers, and then kill him. Kinda like Jagan. From there we learn all about the demons, cursed energy, cursed items, etc, etc. It has an interesting power system and reminds me a bit of Chainsaw Man, which may or may not be a little later on this list, hint hint. Overall, it's a good read, and there are times where it can get confusing, but I push through, and I'm pretty happy with it. Give it a couple chapters and you'll get the gist. By the way, this is scheduled to get an anime adaptation sometime this year. But with the virus going around, there are really no guarantees, so, you know. Up next we have, that's better. Record of Ragnarok. Record of Ragnarok takes place in a world with gods from basically every religion. The story starts with the gods holding their once-in-a-thousand-year meeting to decide the fate of humanity. The gods decide it is time for humans to die, but are interrupted by a Valkyrie who proposes an idea. Why don't we have one-on-one duels between gods and history's strongest humans to decide the fate of humanity? From here on out, it's nothing but crazy fights, and I just can't get enough of it. It's fight after fight, and such a blast to read. There's Norse gods, Greek gods, Hindu gods, and tons more. These gods are pitted against some of history's strongest men, who are reimagined with new techniques and abilities that put them on the same level as the gods. The art is incredible, the fights are easy to understand, and the fights are really well paced, never feeling dragged on. I really recommend this one, but if you don't like it by chapter 5, it's probably not for you. At number 3, we got Kemono Jihen. Kemono Jihen is about Kabane, a young boy being raised by his aunt, who runs a hot spring inn. Kabane is forced to work outside in the fields all day because he is always dirty and smells. When a detective from Tokyo arrives investigating mysterious rotten bodies, he takes an interest in Kabane. Kabane then believes he was the one who was creating the corpses, and it is revealed that he is a half-ghoul hybrid. Which is kinda weird because it means his mom got piped by a ghoul, but you know, moving on. Being a ghoul gives him tons of powers like strength, pain tolerance, and regeneration. The detective then explains to Kabane that he was actually hired to kill him by his aunt. One monster fight later, and the detective realizes Kabane's potential, and decides that he will tell the aunt he killed him, and then bring him to Tokyo to work for him. Kabane then goes to the Inugami Detective Agency, with the goal of one day finding his parents. We are then introduced to the rest of the cast, a snowman and a spider hybrid. The interactions and bonds that form between the trio are what drives the story. Each character has their own unique backstory that we slowly unveil, and as this happens, the cast expands and the story progresses. Because the story follows a group of kids, you would probably expect it to be very upbeat, which it is at times, but it's dark when it wants to be, especially when it comes to the backstories of the kids. I think this story has a lot of potential and I'm excited to see where it goes. I would give it like 3 chapters before deciding to drop it, but, it's up to you. Chainsaw Man is about Denji. When Denji's mother died from a heart disease, he was left with a large debt to pay back. Seeing it as his only way to survive, Denji makes a pact with the Chainsaw Devil and becomes a devil hunter to earn money. Some years later, he is betrayed and killed by the same people he's working for. All chopped up, the Chainsaw Devil heals Denji and is now within him. From this, Denji gains the ability to turn into a Chainsaw Devil and is recruited by the Public Safety Bureau to kill devils. From here, Denji gets to explore the real world and live a real life free from poverty. Denji, still feeling empty, decides he needs a goal and settles on wanting to feel some tits. Yeah, Denji's just a normal person. He doesn't have some grand aspirations or dreams of great things. He just wants to experience a normal life. It's probably one of the best manga on Jump's roster right now. This mainly having to do with Denji's personality. He's one of the craziest main characters in the business. Just when you expect him to do one thing, he'll do a full 180, making him completely unpredictable. I really enjoyed it. It's a great read. Check it out. At number 5, we got Yozakura Mission. Taiyo is a super shy high schooler who can only talk to his childhood friend Mutsumi. Taiyo is confronted by his teacher, who turns out to be a totally obsessed stalker following Mutsumi. Some shit later, and Taiyo wakes up surrounded by Mutsumi's family. He learns that they are a family of spies, and the person he thought to be his teacher is actually the eldest brother and one of the world's strongest spies. There are only 2 options the family can take to protect Taiyo. Either fight the brother together, or Taiyo and Mutsumi get married, which would instantly protect Taiyo under the single family rule, no fighting between family. One big spy fight later, and Taiyo decides to marry Mutsumi and protect her from her brother and all the other spies that want to kill her. Taiyo then has to train to become a world-class spy. Along the way, we follow him on his missions and fights against those who want to kill Mutsumi. Taiyo also gets to know all the strange people who are part of the Yozakura family. It's a good read, and the comedy is definitely there, so I would recommend giving it a try. The only problem with this manga is there is another manga doing a similar concept, but arguably much better. And that manga is Spy X Family. Spy X Family is about a spy who has been tasked with getting close to some guy. As part of his mission, he is told to manufacture a family and have a kid go to a prestigious school. He begins looking for a kid to adopt, one smart enough to get into this good school. During his search, he comes across a girl who happens to be an Esper. Although not knowing this, he adopts her. However, he also needs a wife and luckily stumbles across a woman willing to get married for appearances. This woman is also an assassin. The 3 family members then have to try their best to hide their secrets, with the psychic daughter being the only one that knows about everything. The fact that they have to hide their identities while living under the same roof leads to a lot of funny situations, which is good since it's overall a comedy. But the real draw to it is seeing the growth of this family going from something just thrown together to a family that genuinely cares about one another. There are some real heartfelt moments that are just pure heart juice. It's a really fun and wholesome read that you should definitely check out. I don't know, just give it a try. Alright, at number 7 we got Gleipnir. I have an entire video on Gleipnir already, where I go over both the manga and the anime it's getting this season. So I'm gonna keep it quick. A high school boy, Shuichi, for reasons he doesn't understand, has the ability to turn into a big fursuit. In order to save a girl from a burning building, he uses his power. She then uses this information to blackmail him into helping her find her sister, who also has powers. They find out that special coins are the cause of the powers, and go out to search for them. They fight monsters, make allies, and learn about Shuichi's past. The real draw to this manga is the mystery. There is always something you don't know, and when you find out the answer, it's never really what you expected. It's a good read, give it 4 chapters before deciding if you like it. If you want something more in depth on the story, give my previous video a watch. At number 8, we got Mitama Security, Spirit Busters. It follows a high school student, Rena Hayes. She has the ability to see spirits, and always has. For some unknown reason, she has a giant line of spirits who constantly follow her around, and she has learned to live with it. One day, Mitama, a security agent, appears and vows to protect her and get rid of the spirits. The only problem being that he is terrified of spirits, and his true power only comes out when he is so scared he begins to cry. This manga is a straight-out comedy, nothing much to it. And because of this, the manga will only be as good as the comedy. So it's a good thing that it's pretty fucking funny. The humor hits, and it hits almost every chapter. The mangaka is great at creating expectations and then wildly subverting them. On top of all that, the jokes are unique and well delivered. If you're looking for a more lighthearted manga to pick up in this weird time, give it a read. It's pretty fucking good. Number 9, Hell's Paradise. Hell's Paradise starts in a prison in old-timey Japan. I'm not sure when. Where we are introduced to our main character, Gabimaru the Empty. He is a legendary shinobu who, after being betrayed by his people, was captured and sentenced to death. Lucky for him, however, the shogunate has decided to send a group of the worst criminals to an uncharted island. On this island, there is believed to be the elixir of life. The person who successfully retrieves it will be pardoned of their crimes and given another shot at life. The only catch being that this island is a complete hellscape. Everyone and everything on the island seems to be built for nothing but killing. The real strength of this manga, on top of the fights, is the mystery surrounding the island. The characters quickly run into monsters that seem to be a strange amalgamation of different religious customs. This leads to us questioning the true nature and origin of this bizarre island. From there, the mystery only evolves. On top of that, the fights are frequent and the fights are great. Because of his training, Gabimaru has tons of special techniques he uses to fight, all of which look great because of the amazing artwork. Give it a try. I personally really like it. At number 10, Kiss Me or I'll Die. Psych, that's right, there are only 9, but YouTube likes the number 10 better, so here it is. Number 10, Kiss Me or I'll Die. Yep, it's a 10 out of 10. Read and experience what I do, and be grateful you got 9. Alright, so yeah, that's all of them. If you have a manga you would like to recommend, leave it in the comments below and I'll check it out. Other than that, please subscribe to get notified when I post, because I've got a fun video in the works. So until then, peace.